The rain pounded against the window of the sleek Manhattan penthouse, mirroring the storm raging in my chest as I stared at the marriage contract in my trembling hands. I, Elias Thorne, an unassuming Omega from a crumbling family legacy in Brooklyn, had just signed away my life to Alexander Voss, the ruthless alpha heir to a billion-dollar empire, all to save my reckless nephew from a fate he couldn't handle. But as Alexander's cold gaze pierced through me like a blade, I knew this union wasn't salvation, it was a battlefield where love had no place, and hatred was the only vow we'd truly exchange. From the moment our eyes met at the altar in that opulent Upper East Side chapel, Alexander's disdain was palpable, a venomous aura that choked the air around us. He towered over me, his broad shoulders and chiseled jaw screaming power, while his intoxicating mix of cedar and storm overwhelmed my senses, triggering an unwanted heat in my core. "You're not him," he growled under his breath as the officiant pronounced us bound, his voice laced with fury over my nephew's last-minute disappearance, a scandal the Voss family couldn't afford. I had stepped in out of desperation. My sister, widowed and drowning in debt, begged me to take her son's place in this arranged marriage, a relic of old Omegaverse traditions hidden beneath modern society's facade. In America, where alphas and omegas navigated corporate boardrooms and bustling streets, such pacts were whispered deals among the elite to secure bloodlines and fortunes. But Alexander saw me as an imposter, a weak substitute for the young beta heir he expected. That night, in our honeymoon suite overlooking Central Park, he didn't touch me. Instead, he paced like a caged wolf, his words cutting deeper than any rejection. "You'll play the part, Elias, but don't expect anything real from me. This is business, and you're just collateral." Days blurred into weeks of silent warfare in our glass-walled home. Alexander buried himself in his tech conglomerate, Voss Innovations, leaving before dawn and returning late, his presence a ghost that haunted me. I'd catch glimpses of his softer side donating millions to LGBTQ+ shelters, advocating for Omega rights in congressional hearings, but to me, he was ice. My attempts at connection crumbled. A homemade dinner turned to ash when he accused me of trying to manipulate him with my Omega wiles. Loneliness gnawed at me, amplified by the suppressants I took to hide my heats, fearing his rejection would shatter what little dignity I had left. Yet, cracks appeared in his armor. One evening, during a fierce thunderstorm that knocked out power across the city, we were trapped together. Candles flickered as we shared a bottle of whiskey. And for the first time, Alexander opened up about his pasta-controlling father who forced this marriage to stabilize his wild reputation. Rumors of past lovers that painted him as heartless. "I never wanted this," he confessed, his green eyes softening in the dim light. Our scents mingled, pulling us closer. And in a moment of raw vulnerability, his lips crashed against mine. It was fire and fury, our bodies entwining in a dance of pent-up desire. That night, we consummated the marriage, his alpha not locking us together as waves of pleasure erased the hate, if only temporarily. But dawn brought regret. Alexander pulled away, muttering about betrayal, convinced my family's deception ran deeper. Paranoia fueled arguments. He discovered my nephew's gambling debts, assuming I'd orchestrated the switch for personal gain. "You're poison," he spat during one explosive fight in our living room, shattering a vase that symbolized our fragile bond. I fought back tears, my heart aching with unspoken love I'd fallen for him, his strength, His hidden kindness, but his walls were impenetrable. The breaking point came at a gala in the Hamptons, where New York's elite mingled under crystal chandeliers. Alexander flirted openly with an old flame, a beta socialite, his laughter a dagger to my soul. Humiliated, I fled into the night, driving back to the city with tears blurring the highway lights. That was it. I couldn't endure the hatred anymore. Packing my bags in the dead of night, I left a note. You win, Alexander. I'm gone. Slipping away to a rundown motel in Queens, I vowed to rebuild, ignoring the strange fatigue creeping in. Weeks turned to months as I pieced together a new life, working odd jobs in a Brooklyn cafe, suppressing the memories of his touch. But something was wrong. Nausea, dizziness, a faint scent shift that no suppressant could mask. At a free clinic in Harlem, the doctor's words hit like thunder. You're pregnant, Elias. About 8 weeks along. Shock rooted me in place. It was Alexander's child, conceived in that stormy night of passion. Joy warred with terror. How could I raise an heir alone, in a world where single omegas faced discrimination? Hiding became impossible. My body betrayed me, heats intensifying, drawing unwanted attention. One rainy afternoon, collapsing on the subway platform amid the rush hour crowd, I blacked out, waking in a hospital bed with beeping monitors and concerned nurses. Whispers of my condition spread, and somehow, the media caught wind. Tabloids screaming about the Voss heir's secret spouse vanishing with a scandalous twist. Alexander found me there, bursting into the room like a force of nature, his face pale with worry I'd never seen. Elias, he breathed, dropping to his knees beside the bed, his hand trembling as it reached for mine. Why didn't you tell me? Tears glistened in his eyes, the hatred gone, replaced by raw remorse. He confessed everything: the fear of vulnerability after a childhood of abandonment, the way my quiet strength had chipped away at his defenses from day one. I was a fool, he admitted, voice breaking. I love you. I've loved you since that night in the storm. Forgiveness didn't come easy. We talked for hours, unraveling the misunderstandings, the family pressures that had poisoned our start. Alexander vowed to change, to build a life where our child would know only love, not the chains of tradition. As I placed his hand on my swelling belly, feeling the first kick, a profound peace settled over us. In that sterile room, amid the hum of the city outside, we rediscovered each other not as alpha and omega bound by duty, but as equals in a love that defied odds. Our story became a beacon. Alexander used his platform to champion omega rights, funding clinics and support groups, turning our pain into purpose. We remarried in a quiet ceremony on a Hudson River pier, surrounded by friends who'd become family. Our son cradled in my arms months later. Hatred had birthed us, but love redeemed us, proving that even in the chaos of modern America, true bonds could heal the deepest wounds. As years passed, our home in Brooklyn, far from the penthouse, glamour echoed with laughter. Alexander, once distant, became the devoted father, teaching our boy about empathy and strength. I found my voice, writing articles on Omegaverse equality, our journey inspiring countless others in the LGBTQ+ community. The scars remained, reminders of the storm we weathered, but they made our love unbreakable. One evening, watching the sunset from our rooftop, Alexander pulled me close. You saved me, Elias, he whispered, his scent wrapping around me like a promise. In that moment, I knew our ending wasn't just happy, it was meaningful. A testament to resilience, forgiveness, and the human capacity to choose love over hate. The city lights twinkled below, a canvas of endless possibilities. Our child played nearby, innocent and full of wonder, embodying the future we'd fought for. No more substitutions. No more facades, just us. A family forged in fire, thriving in the heart of America. The journey back to trust was a winding road through New York's bustling streets and quiet parks. Alexander moved mountains to prove his change, attending therapy sessions with me in a cozy midtown office, where we dissected the layers of mistrust. I projected my fears onto you, he admitted one session, his voice raw as he recounted his father's iron-fisted control over the Voss Empire, forcing him into a mold that left no room for genuine emotion. As an Omega, I'd always navigated a world that undervalued us. But Alexander's willingness to listen, to advocate publicly for reforms, chipped away at my defenses. Pregnancy brought its own trials. Morning sickness hit hard, confining me to bed in our temporary apartment while Alexander juggled work and care, bringing soups from delis and reading aloud from baby books. His tenderness was a revelation. Gone was the cold alpha. In his place, a man who massaged my feet and whispered apologies into the night. Yet, doubts lingered. Late one night, as contractions of false labor gripped me, I confronted him. How do I know this isn't just about the child? His response, eyes locked on mine, was unwavering, because I fell for you long before I knew. Your courage, your kindness, it terrified me. Family dynamics added fuel to the drama. My sister arrived unannounced, guilt-ridden over pushing me into the marriage, her face etched with regret as she met Alexander. Tensions flared when she revealed my nephew's whereabouts, hiding in California, evading debts. Alexander's initial anger surged, but he reined it in, offering to settle the debts anonymously. For you, Elias, he said, and for healing. It was a turning point, showing his growth beyond vengeance. As my belly grew, so did our bond. We strolled through Central Park, hand in hand, ignoring paparazzi flashes. Alexander shared dreams of a world where Omegas like me could lead without suppression, his company launching initiatives for inclusive workplaces. One crisp autumn day, under golden leaves, he proposed again, not with duty, but desire. Marry me for real this time, he pleaded on one knee, a simple ring glinting. Tears flowed as I said yes, the park's joggers applauding our moment of pure joy. But shadows loomed. A rival alpha from a competing firm, jealous of Voss's success, leaked false stories to the press, claiming our marriage was a sham and the pregnancy a ploy. The scandal erupted, headlines screaming across Times Square billboards. Alexander faced boardroom battles, his position threatened, while I endured online harassment, my Omega status weaponized against me. In the eye of the storm, we clung together, his protective instincts flaring as he hired security and sued for defamation. The climax came at a high-stakes charity event in the Metropolitan Museum, where elites gathered under ancient artifacts. The rival confronted us, smirking as he accused Alexander of weakness for submitting to an Omega's whims. Fury boiled in Alexander's eyes, but he held back, turning to me instead. This man, he announced to the crowd, is my equal, my partner. Our love isn't weakness, it's strength. The room fell silent, then erupted in support. shifting public opinion overnight. That night, as we escaped to our haven, passion reignited, his touch affirming our unbreakable tie. Labor arrived unexpectedly during a winter blizzard, snow blanketing the city in white silence. Rushed to a hospital in Manhattan. I gripped Alexander's hand through the pain, his encouragement a lifeline. "You're the strongest person I know," he murmured, sweat beading on his brow. Hours later, our son entered the world crying, tiny and perfect, his scent a blend of ours hope incarnate. Holding him, exhaustion mingled with euphoria. Alexander's tears fell freely as he cradled our child, whispering promises of protection and love. In that moment, the hatred of our beginning felt like a distant memory, replaced by a profound gratitude for the path that led us here. Recovery brought reflection. We moved to a brownstone in Greenwich Village, a cozy nest away from corporate glare. Alexander scaled back work, prioritizing family, while I pursued writing, my memoir outlining our story becoming a bestseller, sparking dialogues on LGBT rights and Omegaverse dynamics in America. Challenges persisted parenting a newborn tested us. Sleepless nights forging deeper intimacy. But each hurdle reinforced our commitment, turning individual strengths into shared power. One spring morning, as cherry blossoms bloomed, Alexander surprised me with a vow renewal invitation. "To celebrate who we've become," he said, eyes shining. The ceremony on the Brooklyn Bridge at dawn was intimate, vows exchanged with the city awakening below. "I hated the lie that brought us together," I said, "but I love the truth we found." His response sealed it. "You taught me love isn't control, it's freedom." As our son cooed in my arms, friends cheered, a rainbow flag waving in the breeze symbolizing our journey's triumph. Life unfolded like a tapestry, threads of joy and sorrow weaving our family's story. Our son, Liam, grew into a spirited toddler, his laughter echoing through our home as he chased fireflies in the backyard on summer evenings. Alexander, once a workaholic, transformed into a hands-on dad, building forts and reading bedtime stories with dramatic flair. "Papa's the alpha hero," he'd say, mimicking Alexander's deep voice, while I smiled, heart full at the man my husband had become. Yet, echoes of the past resurfaced. A letter from my nephew arrived, postmarked from Los Angeles, expressing remorse and a desire to reconnect. Alexander tensed, old wounds reopening, but he encouraged the meeting. "Family heals together," he said, his growth evident. At a cafe in Soho, tears flowed as my nephew apologized, revealing his own struggles with identity in the Omegaverse world. We forgave, extending support, turning pain into bridges. Professionally, Alexander's advocacy soared. He testified before Congress in Washington, D.C., pushing for laws protecting Omegas from discriminatory practices, citing our story as proof of systemic flaws. Media dubbed him the Reformed Alpha, interviews highlighting his evolution. I stood by his side, my voice amplifying the narrative. Our partnership a model for change. Intimacy deepened with time. Evenings found us on the rooftop, stargazing amid skyscrapers, his arms around me as we reminisced. Leaving was the hardest thing, I confessed once, but it saved us. He nodded, kissing my temple. "Your strength forced me to face myself." Our heats and ruts synced naturally now. No suppressants needed. Each encounter a celebration of trust. A new crisis tested us when Liam fell ill with a rare omega-linked fever. Hospitals scrambling in the dead of night. Alexander's fear mirrored mine as we paced waiting rooms, his hand never leaving my own. "We can't lose him," he whispered. Vulnerability raw. Doctors stabilized him. But the scare prompted us to establish a foundation funding research, channeling fear into action. Community became our anchor. We hosted gatherings for LGBT families in our neighborhood, sharing stories under string lights, fostering bonds that healed collective traumas. One couple, inspired by us, shared their own arranged marriage woes. Finding solace in our advice, love blooms in honesty. As Liam started preschool, we faced societal scrutiny whispers about our unconventional start. But we taught him pride. Love comes in all forms, Alexander would say, pointing to diverse families in picture books. Our son absorbed it, his innocent questions sparking profound discussions. Anniversaries marked milestones. On our 5th, Alexander whisked me to the Adirondacks, a cabin retreat where we rekindled passion by a crackling fire. "I married you twice," he murmured, "and I'd do it 1,000 times more." Nature's serenity mirrored our peace. Hikes revealing hidden waterfalls symbolizing renewed flows of emotion. Back in the city, life's rhythm pulsed. I published a second book, Essays on Resilience, while Alexander mentored young alphas on emotional intelligence. Our influence rippled, policies shifted, shelters expanded, lives changed. Tragedy struck when Alexander's father passed, leaving a will contesting our marriage's validity. Legal battles ensued in federal courts, dredging up old scandals. Stress mounted, but we united, lawyers praising our unbreakable front. Victory came, affirming our bond legally and emotionally. In quiet moments, gratitude overwhelmed me. Watching Alexander tuck Liam in, his gentle touch a far cry from the man who once hated me, I marveled at fate's twists. Pregnancy had been the catalyst, collapse the wake-up call, but love was the sustainer. Our story's meaning crystallized in community impact. At a pride parade in Manhattan, we marched with Liam on our shoulders, rainbow colors vibrant. Cheers erupted as people recognized us, shouting thanks for inspiration. "You showed us hope," one Omega said, tears in eyes. As the sun set on another day, we returned home, exhausted but fulfilled. "This is our legacy," Alexander said, pulling me close. "Not empires, but empathy." Years later, Liam, now a teen, asked about our beginning. We shared honestly, emphasizing lessons. Hatred stems from fear, but love conquers it. He nodded, eyes wise beyond years, carrying our values forward. In America's melting pot, our tale stood as a beacon proof that from substitution and scorn, profound connections could emerge, fostering a more compassionate world. Love, in all its kinks and glories, prevailed.